What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to another gun guide. This is the series where I go into great detail with all of the stats of every one of the weapons in CoD WW2. In today's episode, we're going to be covering the brand new ITRA Burst. First up, as always, let's have a look at some of the in real life stats. And this is in fact based off of a real gun, which a lot of people weren't aware of. This is based off of the Breda M1935 PG. This is an Italian rifle that fires a 6.5x52 Carcano round, and it actually had several different fire modes. It could be semi-auto, full auto, or 4-round burst like we see in the game. In CoD WW2, we get a damage profile on this of 33, 30, 28, 24, and this means it's always going to be a 4 to 5 shot kill in core game modes. Our rate of fire is going to look a little bit different than what you're used to with this series since it is a burst gun. The rate of fire within the burst itself, keeping in mind it is a 4-round burst, that rate of fire when you're just firing those 4 rounds is 968 rounds per minute, which is extremely fast, but then we have to deal with a burst delay. This burst delay is 112 milliseconds, which is relatively short for a burst gun. With rapid fire, the burst delay remains the same, but the rate of fire within the burst is increased a little bit, up to 1034 rounds per minute. Our statistical minimum time to kill is extremely fast if you get a 1-burst kill, so a 4-shot kill at 186 milliseconds. This is going to be faster than pretty much everything in the game, aside from 1-shot kill weapons. If, however, you don't get that 1-burst kill and you need that 5th shot to hit, it slows your time to kill down pretty significantly, down to 298 milliseconds. So this means this gun has a lot of potential, but it's relatively unforgiving. As soon as you miss even just 1 bullet in a burst, your time to kill drops off very noticeably. Getting into headshots, we get a standard headshot multiplier of 1.1, which takes our headshot damage profile to a 36, 33, 30, 26, and this means at very close range, this is actually 0 to 6.25 meters, getting one single headshot will actually make it now a 3-shot kill instead of a 4-shot kill, which makes it a bit more forgiving. However, that range is extremely short, and anything beyond that, unless you're hitting like every single bullet to the head, it's not going to be reducing the number of shots it takes to kill. With high caliber, we get a 1.5 times headshot multiplier, and this takes our headshot damage profile to a 49, 45, 42, 36. And with this, generally, if you're able to hit even just 1 shot to the head, it will be reducing the number of shots it takes to kill, and therefore, at most of the ranges you'll find yourself in, it's just going to take 2 shots to the body, 1 shot to the head, and you will be getting that kill. Getting into our ranges, as you can see here, our 4-shot or our 1-burst kill potential stretches out to 37.5 meters. This is right in line with the 3-shot kill potential of the FG42, for instance, and it's a little bit before the standard drop-off point for most of the rifles in the game. With advanced rifling, we actually double this 4-shot kill range all the way out to 75 meters, which is insanely far. There isn't a single practical line of sight in the game that I can think of beyond 75 meters, and therefore, effectively, it will always be a 1-burst kill with advanced rifling as long as all 4 bullets in that burst hit your target. As for hardcore, technically speaking, our 1-bullet kill potential is just over 30 meters, but when you consider the fact that it has an extremely high fire rate and it's a 4-round burst, it's best to just look at this like a very forgiving 1-burst kill at all ranges in hardcore game modes. It would actually be quite difficult to only hit 1 single bullet in a burst, and therefore, realistically speaking, it's a 1-burst kill all the time. Moving on to hipfire, as you can see here, the ITRA is among the worst in the rifle category, right alongside the Volksjunggewehr, the BIR, and the FG42. Moving on to idle sway, as you can see here, it's pretty minimal, but when it comes to the rifle category, this actually has some of the most idle sway that you'll see with a rifle. Generally, it's not going to be much of an issue unless you're trying to pick people off at really extreme ranges, or if they're just showing like the tip of their head or something. As for recoil, within each burst, you get a very small amount of straight vertical recoil, and it always seems to perfectly recenter between each burst, and therefore it's never really going to get out of hand on you and just end up shooting straight up to the sky if you just keep firing burst after burst. Moving on to magazine capacity, we get a standard magazine capacity of 32 rounds, or 8 bursts, with 96 rounds in reserve. With extended mags, we bump this up to 48 rounds, or 12 bursts, with 144 rounds in reserve. As for our reload add time, which is the amount of time it takes to reload without any unnecessary animations, this is actually the slowest in the rifle category at 1.99 seconds. For the handling and mobility stats, our aim down sight time is among the slower rifles in the game at 260 milliseconds, and same thing goes with the sprint out time. This is also in this lower category for the rifles at 300 milliseconds. Our movement speed is standard for the rifle category at 95%, and same thing goes with the aim down sight strafe speed. This is also standard at 40%. Moving on to my recommended attachments for this, the nice thing about this gun is it doesn't really rely on any particular attachments. I really like using it with a reflex sight after trying it with both iron sights as well as reflex sights. I think the reflex just suits it really well, so I often put that on my class. Quick draw is a nice little bonus, but it's not necessary by any means. Advanced rifling is great for those more consistent one-burst kills when you start to get to the longer ranges, but if you aren't finding yourself challenging people at super long ranges with this gun anyways, advanced rifling isn't really going to be doing anything for you, so it's not necessary, but it is a nice bonus. Rapid fire is one of the attachments that I really like on this gun. I feel like just having that tighter burst, so all of the bullets are going out a little bit faster within the burst, just makes for a lot more consistent one-burst kills because you have to stay on target for a shorter period of time. So with that, let's get into my recommended class setups for the ITRA Burst. This first one here is my current favorite setup to use with this gun. We're using the Armor Division with the Scoped Basic Training skill, so that way I don't have to worry about explosives or stuns or anything like that. And then Scoped is great because with burst guns, I really like tweaking my aim by strafing side to side, and having that slightly faster strafe speed with Scoped is great. And in addition to that, since this gun has that little bit of idle sway that many of the other rifles don't have, it's nice to have that more or less eliminated with the Scoped Basic Training skill, so I can be much more pinpoint accurate at longer ranges. For attachments, we've got Quick Draw, Reflex Sight, and Rapid Fire. Our secondary is a 9mm SAP with extended mags, our lethal is a sticky grenade, and our tactical is a concussion grenade. This is an excellent, well-balanced class for objective game modes in my opinion, and I absolutely love this particular setup. Getting into the next class, this one is a little bit less objective oriented, so you don't have any explosive resistance, so you have to be careful with that. But aside from that, it's excellent at going on longer streaks, as well as picking people off across the map. This is an excellent counter sniper class. With this one, we're using the Resistance Division, and one of the primary uses for this is going to be that Lookout basic training skill that's built into Resistance, so you can see those name tags at longer distances, and also you have that larger minimap coverage. And then an added bonus with that is you get that ping when you end up killing your enemies, which can reveal even more enemies on the minimap. With this one, once again, we're using Reflex Sight and Rapid Fire, but I'm using Advanced Rifling on this one, since with that Lookout basic training skill, I'm often going to be finding those gunfights at longer ranges that I normally wouldn't be seeing quite as well. For our basic training, once again, we have the Scoped Basic Training skill. I really like that reduction to idle sway on this gun, as well as the increase to your strafe speed, so this is why I absolutely love using Scoped with this one. And everything else is going to be exactly the same. A 9mm SAP with extended mags, a sticky grenade as our lethal, and a stun grenade for our tactical. And with that, we're going to wrap up today's gun guide. Personally, I really like the introduction of the ITRA Burst. This is one of my new favorite guns. I think part of it is just the fact that it's something that's new and unique that's been added to the game. There's nothing else like it in this game, and I really miss my burst weapons from previous Call of Duty games, so I think that's one of the reasons that I'm using this as much as I currently am. It's also a very powerful gun in the right hands. If you manage to hit all 4 bullets in your burst, you are going to be a beast with this gun. If, however, your accuracy is a little bit on the sloppy side, you might find that this gun is a little bit on the unforgiving side for you. I do have a slight feeling that this is going to get a nerf in some area. If anything, I think maybe they're going to increase the burst delay a little bit. We'll have to wait and find out, and I'll be sure to keep you guys posted, so make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, because I always keep you guys posted on any weapon changes that happen in the game. But of course, I'd like to know in the comment section below, what's your opinion on the ITRA Burst? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's overpowered and needs a nerf? In addition to that, I'd like to know in the comment section below, which one of the other new guns would you like me to cover next for this gun guide series? We have the Sterling SMG, we have the M2 carbine, we have the Type 5 rifle, as well as the Arasaka or the Type 38, but I think I'm going to be saving that one, and I'm planning on doing all of the sniper rifles in one giant episode. So out of the Sterling, the Type 5, and the M2 carbine, which episode would you like to see next? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.